Okay, so let's just put into practice what we have learned about our sine, cosine, and tangent functions. What are the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios for angle H and angle F? So we're going to focus on angle H first. So here's angle H. I'm going to label the triangle. I tend to label the opposite side first. If I go across the triangle, here's the opposite side. Maybe it's easier to label the hypotenuse first because the hypotenuse is always the same. It doesn't matter what angle you're doing your trig function for, the hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse. And then the third side, this will be the side that's next to angle H, is the adjacent side. All right, so our three trig functions. Sine, and then we have to include the angle, sine of angle H equals, so as a reminder, that's going to be the opposite side over the hypotenuse. We have labeled everything. We can see the opposite side is 12, the hypotenuse is 15. When we set up that ratio, if we can reduce it, we will reduce. If we divide those by 3, we get 4/5. So the sine of angle H is equal to 4/5. Now let's find the cosine of angle H. Cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. According to our triangle, the adjacent side is 9. The hypotenuse is still 15. 9 over 15 will reduce to 3/5. So we'll just rewrite that. The cosine of angle H is equal to 3/5. And then our last one is our tangent function. So tangent of angle H is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side. The opposite side is 12, the adjacent side is 9. 12 over 9 reduces to 4/3. So tangent of angle H is equal to 4/3. So there are your three trig functions for angle H. We are going to do the same thing for angle F. I am going to redraw the triangle. Maybe not accurately, but here's H, here's G, here's F. We know that this is 9. We have a 12 down here and a 15 for our hypotenuse. All right, so we're going to do our same three trig functions, but we're changing angles. Now it's going to be all for angle F. That's going to change your opposite and your adjacent sides because now the side opposite to angle F is over here for that side length of 9. The hypotenuse is still the hypotenuse. That's not going to change, but your adjacent side is now the 12. All right, so the sine of angle F is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, so 9 over 15, which reduces to 3/5. Cosine of angle F is the adjacent side of 12 over the hypotenuse 15, which reduces to 4/5. And then last we have our tangent of angle F, which is the opposite 9 over the adjacent 12, and that reduces to 3/4. And those are your three trig functions for each angle. One thing just to kind of make sense of what we did here. So angle F right here, the sine of angle F is equal to 9 over 15, which is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. And we got 3/5. So one way to think about that is the opposite side is 3/5 of the hypotenuse. When we say that the cosine of angle F is 12 over 15 reduced to 4/5, cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so the adjacent side is 4/5 of the hypotenuse. And then tangent of angle F was 3/4. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, so the opposite side is 3/4 of the adjacent side. So that's just that relationship that we're writing out with these trig ratios.